In this chilling sequel to the platform series, the narrative explores themes of guilt, survival, and the human condition within a brutal prison system. The authoritative chain, where there are always a ruler and his followers. The story unfolds in a nightmarish world of 333 platforms, where prisoners are subjected to cruel rules and horrific consequences. As they navigate their dark reality, they confront their pasts and the choices that brought them here. The movie opens with the sequel of platform series, and a number of children playing cheerfully can be seen in a place they seem cheerful. But the creepy place sends some other signals. Hence moving to the main characters, which are basically the prisoners in one of these 333 platforms. They have been interviewed and asked about the reasons for choosing this platform. Parampuan seems depressed and needs time to heal herself. Therefore she chose the prison. Zamayatan tried to burn their parents alive. Therefore the guilt trip took him here. They will be awarded with a degree and one item of their choice at the end of the time. They are set up to their assigned levels. But Zamayatan is not happy with his food service. Someone ate his pizza on level 21. And he starts fighting for the stale loaf of bread left for him, although Men from level 22 tries to stop him from eating others' food and save him from the punishment. He forgives his pizza this time, but showed immense anger. Parampuan shares her food to him when the matter goes on fire. In the meantime, men start hearing scream from the top floor and sense a tragic fight on level 21. They know that the level 21 is going to get punished for breaking the rules. The rule is to never eat others' food. But they ate the pizza of Zamayatan. Suddenly the platform starts burning, and two people drop to their level. They try to rebel against the fight, but the poisonous gases and fire add fire to it. A burning body falls to the platform, and Parampuan starts rescuing the lady. However, it is too late now. But the other man is whimpering because he has been poorly injured. The platform needs to be the food free. So they start throwing the leftovers into the giant hole until the buzzer stops. Parampuan follows the rules. But Zamayatan is a bit rebellious. He wants food as he hasn't eaten for 2 days. The man narrates the story of their messiah to them. To enforce the rules, he exclaimed that one of them survived without food for 1 month and reaches to the end of this pit hole. He sacrificed himself for the needy and cut his body parts to feed others. For the next month, he set up a belief and attract followers. And he has never been seen. He is in the most privileged level. And everyone wants to meet him. Therefore they are obliged to follow the rules and encourage justice and equality. They throw the burnt body into the deepest dungeon. But it touches the floor into parts. The body slits into different pieces and growls by a fierce unknown creature at the end. Of all levels in the darkest of this pit, there are so many secrets unrevealed, which will keep you hinged till the end. As the growling creature picks up the pieces and fade away. The Messiah and its followers have set the rules to remain just, no matter if anyone wants to follow or not. Hence the rules were followed. And they eat only their pizza and meatballs. They throw the food of the dead ones, but Zamayatan feels the urge to eat that too. So he takes the risk. He had the chance to eat others' food, while Pemramun were about to throw it. He was rescued once, but she didn't let him take the risk. Again and again they have become friends. And Zamayatan asks about her paintings, which she has been making on the walls of the cage. She explains that all animals have never-ending animal instincts and they show rage in some forms. Zamayatan hates arts and only believes in logic. He was a man of science, but the imaginary word let him leave the craze of mathematics, because he couldn't prove its existence. He never studies mathematics again. And this is how they become friends. They help each other clean themselves and share stories. They also dance with each other, on the insisting of Parampuan. But this crazy dungeon, making them more and more paranoid with each passing day. One day a bright red light beeps. And they think of it as a sign from the Messiah, ignoring the fact that they didn't eat for 2 days. Zamayatan falls ill in the smell of stinking dead bodies, which are dropping down from the above levels. Prisoners are freaking out, due to hunger and starvation of days. Zamoyotun coughing blood. But Parampuan takes care of him. This is the sign that they have been punished for their rules breaking. Zamoyotun has been punished with an uncured illness and the starvation. However, one night, he takes the toughest decision ever. He knows that he has done wrong by eating others' food. So instead of forgiving himself, he decides to burn himself. He can't take it long enough, and decides to throw himself into what this platform wants to do to him. He surrenders and burns the flames. Parampuan tries to stop, but he thinks that he was never liked by anyone. His family considers him a burden, and throw him out of the house for learning discipline. He knows that he was disciplined, but he loved his family. But he was never able to tell them. So he asks Parampuan to convey his message. With this heart-wrenching wish, he burns himself and falls into the deepest, dark dungeon the prisoners find it amusing, and starts throwing their stiff to burn with him. Some call it a sign from the Messiah that he is near, while some enjoy the killings. Parampuan is with a new cellmate now, but she seems confused and new. She eats their meals, but they were filthy this time, because someone from the earlier levels do wrong. The authority decides to punish them, but Parampuan couldn't accept the injustice. So he asks for a rebel, and jump to the platform to fight the followers of Messiah for spreading the hate and injustice. They try to compel others to fight with them, but the fight ignites the rebel, and chaos among the followers and non-followers. They manage to take people to the platform, but not for long. The fight ends up killing of one, and injuring the others. The cellmate finally reveals that she has been here for 6 months, and tried to follow the rules. She was here for a fresh start, but this crazy pit ends up a monstrous hell. They want to get rid of it, but no one can tell now. People die and fall into the last hole. The believers think that this is the end of their suffering, but this pit turns out to be the biggest chaos of their lives. The cellmate reveals that a few months before, they save a dying man by nourishing him with the food of a dead one. One of the followers get to know about that and wanted to give an exemplary punishment. They cut her arm and let her scream in pain, and eat her cellmate in front of her eyes. Parampuan encourages following the rules, so they can get rid of this hell. But the cellmate makes her realize that there is no escape of this. They never allow anyone to escape, and let them die in this hell, out of starvation or punishments. But there is a plan, according to which they can jump to the platform, and joins the dead. The platform opens the tunnel once in a month. However, there is a numb man sleeping on the side of the cell. He seems asleep, so they whispered the words of freedom, sitting beside him. But before they can execute anything like that, the followers reach in with an exemplary punishment of a disbeliever. They hang the man with the 4 corners of the platform, and display him as the threat for all others. Also, they get to know about their act of rebellious, so they start threatening them. The Tied Man seems the leader, who have hollow eyes. He commands them to kill the cellmate, as it's her second offense, and now she will lose her other arm too. Also, she will be killed in an exemplary manner, while Pemaru Man will get her one arm stabbed. Another numb man in their cell finally speaks up, who listen to their whispers, and tell all of it to the followers. The leader commands to hold their arms against the platform, and they followed. Instead of loud crazy screams, they let it rip their arms into 2. The cellmate is going down, in front of Parent One's eyes, and she can't do anything about it. However, a few days later, she finds herself in another cell, but with a fat old man. She finds a weapon and thinks of raising a rebellion. She asks others to join as well, and fight against the followers. Her plan works, and a lot of prisoners join her on the retreat, and they move to the lower levels. The leader gets to know about them and comes up with a warning. They also flush the food until the platform reaches to them, so they can die of starvation. Another big revelation comes up when Krempuan finds her painting in one of the prisons. She explains that she was fond of showing animal brutality, and one exhibition her boyfriend took his son there. She explains how he died by stumbling into one of the paintings of her animal brutality exhibition. The kid drops on the blade and loses his eyes. Eventually, he died, and she considers herself as the killer. although she earns millions from those paintings, especially the beastie dog. But the death of the kids never let her sleep in peace. So she came to the pit as her healing retreat, never knowing that it can turn to a trap. The followers let them starve for 1 month, so they end up crawling and stripping their own skins. They feed on each other's melted skins. Finally, the followers come after a month and reignite the fire of revenge. Both parties attacked on each other, and a lot of bloodshed happens. They kill each other's throats with whatever weapons they get in their hands. The fat man helps the Pemaruman to slit the throat of a giant, bearded man who was about to strangle her. She and the leader are alive in the whole cell. He begs her to kill him, but she wants to let him starve like he did to them. So she keeps him alive, but throw him into the pit hole to suffer for lifetime. The day comes when she remembers that the authorities spread a sleeping gas to make all of them unconscious. It was time to move out of this hell, so she take a part of her painting with her. She ate the beastie dog and act like a dead, enforcing herself to not sleep. Finally, the authorities came and tie all dead bodies to the platform. So she is along with the pile of blood and dead. However, a strange thing occurs when she finds a boy at the last cell, which is numbered as 333. She gets rid of the dead and hide under the bed. However, the dilemma of her early life runs behind her. The authorities take a child from somewhere and keep him there. She decides to help the child and take him along. The gas allows her to float in the pit, but she throbs her head multiple times. However, she manages to keep her eyes open and take the boy to the platform. A hallucinating vision forces her to kill the boy, to free herself from her inner guilt. But she gives up the choice and decides to save the boy. Thinking that she can finally escape, she finds herself on the moving platform, waiting to see the sunlight. But she reaches the last level and finds all dead people alive. She finds the burnt Samaritan and all others who were dead on all these levels. The dead people force her to leave the child alone, because it his journey to begin with. She has reached her end, but he needs a chance to live a life. Accordingly, the movie symbolizes that the sins of the parents are borne by their children, and this child was a punishment. Likewise, the fortune is the same and the starvation is the fate. They can't escape their inner battles, and they will always end up in those darkest pit holes. They also try to highlight the unjust and harm of capitalism. Therefore, Parampan accepts her fate and joins the herd of hopelessness and disappointment. The film concludes with a haunting message about the cyclical nature of suffering and the consequences of past actions. It underscores how the sins of the parents burden their children and critiques the injustices of capitalism. In this dark pit, escape is a mirage, and the struggle for survival is an unending cycle, leaving the characters trapped in their darkest pits. The movie serves as a profound exploration of guilt, redemption, and the human psyche under duress. Through its harrowing narrative, the film sheds light on societal injustices and the inescapable nature of one's past, compelling viewers to reflect on the moral complexities of survival and the price of humanity in a fractured world. This movie highlights the importance of justice and undistributed food supplies to the minority populations.